Yes, hello everybody, welcome back to Turfcast. We're here with Connor and Jimmy. Make sure you check out their channels as well. It's One Leeds and Blades Ramble. We'll be doing stuff on there as well. Bit of a serious one from me now, lads, unfortunately. The banter and the camaraderie might have to end a little bit, but I do want to talk about something that's quite topical with Burnley at the minute, and that is the Hannibal and Osmajic situation. Obviously, it is alleged that Osmayic said racist words to him. Apparently, he called him a black man, according to the reports from the referee, in obviously in an aggressive manner. It was in the league match. It is currently being investigated. He has been charged by the FA, but he's not been found guilty. It's important to note that does not mean he is guilty, and there has been instances in the past where people have been charged and have then been found not necessarily not guilty, but there's not enough evidence to charge them. So there's been no proof in some instances. So it doesn't mean he's guilty. It doesn't mean he's definitely done it. But it's obviously quite a serious debate, this one, lads. So obviously, I think the main thing for Burnley fans is we back our player because he's our player. I understand Preston fans doing the same thing for their player. But it's a very serious topic, isn't it? And I don't think many people, if anybody out there, would lie about something like this. I mean, I'm definitely interested to get your view on it, Connor. I mean, I know, for example, you will not let your heart rule your head with something like this. But obviously, former Man United player did what he did at Ellen Road as well, which didn't go down very well with Lee fans, and understandably, Burnley fans would have hated it if it was the other way around. So, what are your thoughts on it all? Like, how do you think it's gone, and sort of like the way that Osmayic acted in the FA Cup game as well? Obviously scoring the goal, decent finish to be fair to the lad, but then cupping his ears to the Burnley fans, and that to me just screamed, I am guilty. That's my opinion. I'm not saying it is, but just the way he was acting around it all, I just thought was pretty pathetic, if I'm honest. But yeah, I'd especially like to get your two thoughts on it.
Yeah, it was. I think obviously they had the handshake at the start as well, of which the Burnley
non-handshake,
non-handshake, which the Burnley players ignored. But I think it was just almost he took it upon himself, didn't he? There was the wry smile when they were all ignoring him and all that. It kind of brought me back to Suarez and Evra, Man United and Liverpool. It kind of brought me back to that really. But yeah, obviously we know there's no place for it in football at all. But as we say, it is alleged right now, but it screams guilt. For me, it screamed a lot of insecurity as well. He was very bolshy during that game, wasn't he? Putting it one way, and then, putting it lightly, I should say, and then obviously he scores the goal. And cupping your ears to the Burnley fans when the Burnley fans are effectively just calling you a racist, and that's what you've been charged for. In that situation, for me, if you're not guilty, you score the goal, you almost sheepishly run back to the halfway line, get on with the game, get your head down, leave the field of play on 90 minutes and just get on with it. But it was almost like he was playing up to it and he was taking the mick, really. You don't want to hear about it in football, as we've got to say continuously. It is alleged. However, I don't think he handled it well at all.
Alleged, smalleged. He's a right weapon, innit?
Yeah,
he is a right weapon. We've got.
I want to do a proper skirting around it.
No.
He is a bellend. Let's be honest. Let's go down that way. He bit Owen Beck, and at the same time, I thought that was kind of hilarious, kind of disgusting because it's a Blackburn player. But it tells you the type of character that he is.
He is very Suarez, isn't it?
He is Suarez Mark II, isn't he? Suarez from Wish.
We never dance around these sort of subjects, so I don't know why we're starting now. Because look, I understand the delicacies around the legalities of it, so I respect that as well. But what respect has he shown for anybody? Do you know what I mean? He's bitten Owen Beck, which were absolutely outrageous. No denying it. He got caught on.
Didn't he deny it at first, though, if I remember right?
Yeah, something like that. And listen, this is not I've got a lot of time for Preston, and I know you aren't, but Ecky's their manager currently as we record this.
Didn't mind him before all this.
No, but exactly. And he did great things for my club as well. So certainly nothing against Preston, and I wish Ecky well. But he is a right whopper, that Osmayic, and he is to cup your ears, like you say. If you have not done anything wrong, then you don't even play into the whole. I get the rivalry thing.
It's pantomime, Bill.
Yes, it is, but it's such a serious subject. He's not read the room at all, and I think this is again just my impression. He thinks, I can get all Preston fans on side here if I wind these Burnley fans up even more. Well, the subject is bigger than the rivalry, so you've got to know where your limits are, and if it's a racist incident, allegedly, then you cannot even mess about with these sort of things. Just he can get out of the game for me. If he gets a lifetime ban, it's not long enough for me, because we don't need it, do we? There's so much positive stuff that goes on to try and change people's attitudes towards this sort of thing, and it just undoes all of that sort. He's flying in the face of everybody that's trying to kick racism out. All this say no to racism, all these sort of things that have worked tirelessly to get these sort of campaigns up and running. I think is an absolute whopper. What do his teammates think? He'll have teammates of colour who will have their own opinions on this. I wonder where they stand on it. Obviously, it's everyone has a chance to form their own opinions on it, because there's no proof, if you like, at this point in time. But we all know what we think. I wonder how his teammates think. And then it divides the whole club, because the manager sort of leans into backing him a little bit while sort of probably chastising him behind the scenes. I just think it's outrageous. Absolutely outrageous.
I guess you don't really see it as well in this country anymore, do you? It's more of a. It feels anyway on the news outlets that it's maybe a little bit more of a certain countries in Europe and obviously across the world, but obviously Spain I know gets lambasted with it, really, the Italians as well, but you don't really see it in our game. So he's the last real incident, as I keep mentioning, was the Evra Suarez thing. I can't really remember anything more recently than that. So to say he's kind of brought the game, as I say, allegedly again, into disrepute again with those sort of remarks is mental. And like I say, he's a seriously unlikable character.
He's got form for being a wrong un, hasn't he? Oh, bites. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? It's
dogs. Literally, that's it. Dogs. But yeah, it's interesting as well. If he is found guilty, then obviously I know you've said a lifetime ban won't be long enough. How long do you think would be adequate for punishment for this? Bearing in mind, this is probably likely, if he is found guilty, I think the FA can charge it based on probability, so without any full-on 100% evidence.
Yeah.
But if there's still no evidence, for example, other than the clip that we've all seen, where he clearly, in my opinion, he clearly said something.
The ref got in the way, didn't he?
The ref got in the way, and he says it right. It goes behind Hannibal to hide his face.
What did he say? He'd said,
"Bad man."
Bad man.
Yeah, he said you are a bad man. I mean, who says that? You're not 6. But obviously Hannibal says you are a black man. Obviously saying.
And he was angry as well, wasn't he?
Yeah,
Osmayic was really angry.
And as Jimmy says, he's a wrong un. Hannibal reacts instantly as well.
People who have been subjected to this type of behaviour are easily, you can see how some people will be easily triggered by it. Hannibal has heard something that's set off a trigger in his head straight away. And I'm not a Hannibal fan.
No, I'm not.
Nobody deserves this sort of... that's right, isn't it? But you've got to stand up for what's right, haven't you?
100%. So, yeah.
Not for me.
What about you, Connor, in terms of length of ban?
Yeah, it's so funny, isn't it? Well, it's not funny, but you look at the other countries and you look at Vinny Jr. getting it week in, week out, no punishments at all from the Spanish governing bodies, and you've kind of got to set the precedent, haven't you? You've got to set the example. But yeah, I agree with Jim. There's no place for it in football, in my opinion. And this is where it's going to be really interesting if he is found guilty. What sort of ban
he got
they
8
put in
games
place?
for biting Owen Beck. It's got to be more than that. This is worse than that. And obviously you couple into the fact that he's already done something like that. It's got to be.
I don't think it will, though, unfortunately.
In 2025, it might be a little bit different, though. Obviously, there's more attention on this thing. It's kind of rare in the English game now as well. We don't see it as much as maybe we used to do. They've got to set the precedent.
I obviously hope so, Con, but really. I can't see it because, you don't have to be a nice person to be allowed to play football. You don't have to be a stand-up citizen to play football. You just, obviously, it's talent-led. But
so what would be disappointing for you then, in terms of a ban? For looking from an outside perspective, what would be disappointing?
4 or 5 game ban.
Yeah.
How are you going to stamp it out? How are you going to get rid of it from game? You've had players like Joey Barton and things like this in the past who no racism sort of allegations from memory, but there's all sorts of things gone off the pitch and things like that, and it never really got stamped out, did it? Pardon the pun. Yeah. But do you know what I mean? It needs, the only way we're going to get rid of it is to set a serious precedent, and I don't know whether the FA have got the coconuts to do it.
I think John Terry and Anton Ferdinand was the other one,
yeah,
wasn't it?
I'm glad you mentioned that, because I were thinking about that one as well. But it's going to be interesting to see what happens. Let me know what you think in the comments below.
And Preston fans as well. For Preston fans here as well. It'll be interesting.
There will be some Preston fans.
You've got to separate your head from your heart here.
And there'll be a lot of Preston fans who won't be happy with how the club have handled
I'm
it.
glad you mentioned Preston fans as well, because I have been quite frankly disgusted by their reaction to all of this on social media.
You can't though, mate. That's not the entire fan base, is it?
No,
That's
it's
the
not.
section.
No, but there's that's what I mean. There's a section of Preston fans that are consistently bringing up the fact that John Joe Shelby was charged in 2010 and he now plays for Burnley. That's got nothing to do with us.
Two separate things.
It's
as well.
two completely separate incidents. And that Jay Rodriguez had an incident with Gaten Bong when he was at, I think he was at West Brom or Southampton again. Two completely.
Always happens in football though. There's comparisons.
Exactly.
And it's irrelevant.
It's what about her? It's pathetic. So there are some Preston fans that I know are quite. Happy to have a debate on this and things like that. But let me know in the comments below what you think. Keep it clean, please. But and just to reiterate what I said earlier, I didn't mind Preston. I didn't mean it. Obviously, there are rivals, but recently we've kind of like not been a thing with Preston fans as much because we've been in the Prem, they've been in League One, and obviously we've now met in the Championship.
Yeah.
So. So
we don't deal with those
we don't.
Those
This
whites.
this annoying little cousins, but now obviously they're there. They're yard dogs. They're yapping at us.
Come on, Eki.
But let me know what you think in the comments below and keep it clean, please.